So you made it through 4 long years of high school doing the absolute bare minimum, and now it's time to move on to a university. The way dudes make it out will have you believing going to college is like taking a trip to Astro World. But in reality, the college experience is gonna look a little something more like this. So, gay son or thought daughter? The sarcoplasmic rectangulum contains a... Gay son or thought daughter?
You look lonely. I can fix that.
And then by the time of your 3rd year, you'll be feeling like a jaded war veteran, smoking Marlboros and drinking Coronas all alone in your dorm room on the daily. But what brings people down to that level starts on that unforgettable first day experience. After you get accepted to college, drive out to the campus, get dropped off at the dorms, and your family leaves you hundreds of miles away from home, you lie there in a dingy twin-sized bed like, oh my god, bruh, I gotta figure out what to eat 3 times every single day. I gotta do laundry. I gotta do dishes. This shit is really survival out here. All the while, you got a roommate just staring at you. The dorms have gotta be the most scuffed part of college. They're like the equivalent of the high school bathrooms, except that dudes actually live here. Although saying that people live in the dorms is being a little generous, because in reality, dorms are where people wanna die the most. Like, the dorms will really bring a man to his unequivocally lowest points. And if you gotta go through all of that with a roommate, that's just tough. And with roommates, it's inevitable that the night will come when you hear him laying down some mid-pipe while he thinks you're asleep across the room. All the while, you hear every single little detail. Is it in yet? I don't feel anything. The way I see it, living alone is just the better option. But sometimes you can't help getting stuck with some dude because colleges enroll more students than maximum capacity. There's been instances of universities turning study rooms and closets into dorm rooms, and that's a real struggle. You'll be walking through the dorm hallways and see dudes sleeping on the ground like the Chicago streets. Especially when you consider half of these dudes are the guy that doesn't know how to live on their own. The amount of times I've loaded up some laundry and Harold comes up like, hey man, could you help me out with the laundry? Oh, for sure, man. You just gotta simply put all of your fucking shit into the washing machine and it machine washes your shit. And then upon further inspection into Harold's life, bro does dishes with no soap, doesn't wash his hands, doesn't vacuum, can't operate a printer, has no hose, no ambition, 0 drive, 0 will to live, and no more oxygen. What do you mean by that last one? It's safe to say that the dorms can be real isolating. Getting outside is a necessity to combat that darkness. And as you start to walk around campus for the first few times, getting acclimated to those first few classes, you'll start to notice all the same dudes from high school are back. It's like the iconic characters from high school got older and evolved into new forms. Remember the hoes? I have a hard time forgetting them. Now they've evolved into sorority girls. All the jocks and athletic kids evolved into frat dudes, and now the NPCs of high school are more prominent than ever, but now they go by psychology majors. And nothing can prepare you for the complete onslaught of these NPCs asking you about your major and what dorm you live in. You'll be minding your own business in the cafeteria, enjoying some good slop, when all of a sudden some dude sits next to you like, so what's your major, bro? If you're in the elevator going up to your dorm, so what's your major, dude? And even in the bathrooms, so what's your major? Oh, computer science, right on, bro. The bright side is that the band kids just seem to have completely despawned. I don't know what happened to them, but I've never once seen a band kid on a college campus. And that's not even talking about what goes down inside the lectures. They throw in like 500 kids to one classroom, and people end up getting away with some of the most out-of-pocket shit. The hot Cheeto girl that was always smacking her lips at terminal velocity, now she brings out a whole buffet to munch on in the back of the lecture. The teacher's pet now goes on yapping sessions about the most incomprehensible shit for 10 minutes at a time. And the kid that never used to show up to school still doesn't show up to the lectures. Bro just fails all his classes without a care in the world. All the while, the professors will have you perplexed on how they even got hired with some of the brain dead activity they pull. If you try and email a professor more than one question at a time, you'll be thinking they hired Joe Biden's old ass when they send you back the most incomprehensible response. Hello, Mr. Stickman. I was wondering when the the assignment mentioned in class today was due. Also, could you give me an extension on yesterday's assignment? I couldn't make it because my entire family tragically died in a car accident. And bro will send you back an email with no subject line that just says Friday with the sent from my iPhone stamp of approval at the bottom. You really got to do a federal background check on some of these professors because universities just be hiring the most random dudes. So you already know by the time those tests come by, the professor's teaching is not enough. And shit, sometimes studying isn't even enough either. These courses would have me praying to God as my last resort to pass. I imagine you're thinking to yourself, at least the parties are lit in college. And I gotta testify a little something about that. In my personal opinion, I really feel that they really aren't all of that. Maybe I'm not the person to speak on this because I'm not necessarily the party type unless it's with my already established friends. But the college parties I have seen are a bit of a snore fest. Because once again, it's all dudes asking about your major or being so down bad you'll think they're lost in the Dark Souls abyss. These college guys really lose their humanity when it comes to the party scene. You gotta be careful around them. But not all college parties are the same. Some college parties can probably be epic style, featuring great music, engaging conversation, and memorable moments. I just never seen it myself, personally speaking, from my experience personally. Despite everything, at least the university amenities are fire. You'll find dorm rooms with movie theaters and shit like that. And the best part is that college students just drop them after the first month so you can get it all to yourself. Same with the cafeteria. The food is like an all-you-can-eat buffet every night, even if somehow the food still tastes just as bad as the high school cafeteria food. They just slap a restaurant over it to make it look tastier. Which, now that I think about it, is a pretty accurate analogy for the college experience. Most of the same things wrong with high school are still prevalent here. From the students being the same old characters, to the shitty teachers now being shitty professors, the high school bathrooms really just being the dorms, the parking spots now having a $500 markup and being a mile away from campus, the cafeteria getting a restaurant slapped over it with the same old food, all tied together with a pretty $100,000 bow called the college experience. But let's face it, Lord knows if you're a part of my audience, you probably got like a 2.4 GPA and don't even know how to spell college. So unfortunately, the only location that'll take your uneducated ass self is Arizona State University. But that's okay. The appeal of college really is just how scuffed it is. Thinking back on my time on university, I look back at the trauma and struggle fondly. But I also only went for 2 years until I dropped out because I'm literally Kanye West. One last note about dorms I want to add. You gotta be careful of the RAs. They're essentially the dorm cops that do routine checks inside of your room. So if you have one-piece home decoration, hanging, painting, kawaii, nami, wall, art, scroll, hentai, you might want to take that down. Okay, that's the video. Subscribe. Bye.